Hello.
Morning. How are we all this morning?
God, I need a shave.
How are you all feeling? The amount of times you say that.
No, but it suddenly just emerges. It goes from
What
being...
happens with a man when he shaves? I mean, like, I get
Well,
up and I know that I'm always going to wash my hair because it's tangly.
If you're not a
and I
man,
get it through.
I don't have enough growth in a morning to justify shaving every day. So it literally doesn't, it's not consistent. So sometimes it can take a couple of days. Sometimes it can just
Is
suddenly...
that why people use electric shavers so they can shave every day?
Yeah, because if I was to shave naked all the time,
Yeah.
bare flesh, I would
why
have
don't we get you
really
an
sore
electric
skin.
shaver?
Because we don't have a plug hole that's right.
I've got an adapter plug.
Plus also they're not manly. They're not
I
manly.
love an electric razor. I
can
remember
I-
my granddad used to walk around doing this. Oh my God, I suddenly just had such an urge to see my granddad.
Well, hang on. That's exactly. If you watch my shaving vlog, that's all I talk about is my granddad, the smell, the sound, the looking up, the
didn't
grayness
see
of
that
their
vlog.
skin. Oh yeah, no, it went down really well. I was thinking of
I
doing
think
more
the hard
shaving
thing for
films.
me is we live our lives and then to have to watch
It's not
them
me
again
farting,
is a bit
by the way.
much.
What was I going to say? Contrary to some opinions, I haven't had a drink last night. That's all I'm going to say. The vlog.
Literally, and you say that I was literally, I cannot believe it. After the
It's
you won't
funny.
know what's happening
It's
here,
funny.
but after the previous half hour, that is incredible. That is incredible.
So, sorry we didn't do a live last night. You're going to explain why we didn't do a live?
I did.
I know, but I didn't think it was. But why?
Because the girls really didn't want us to. We were
No, I
doing
know.
a Love Island.
We were bedded, not Love Island.
First Dates Hotel binge watch. And we said, okay, girls, we're just going to do the live. And they were like, oh, no, can you not? Can we just watch another one? And I thought, well, fair enough. They do put up with us. Literally, they walk into here and they never
true.
know what they're going to face.
We're usually filming.
And we never, ever ask them to be filmed or anything. It's just if they want to be, they're in. But the house is constantly being filmed. So I just thought last night, we just had to say, yeah, okay, we won't.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So.
Julie Neary, of course, we can say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Chloe Bering.
Happy birthday for yesterday.
We're on the same mental wavelengths, aren't we? We agree.
No, we're not.
We
After
agree
what
on
you
some-
just did in the first 2 seconds of us
Oh, she's
starting.
gone like a bloody rigid
Oh my
surfboard.
God,
Come
it's
here.
so annoying. Has anyone got a husband that's more annoying than Mark? Come on, let's hear. And if so, how so? How is he more annoying than him?
Thank
I wanna
you.
hear.
Thank you for a really meaningful chat last night. It was, again, it helped me. I hope it helped you. I hope Mandy B, who was struggling, I believe that was her name, Mandy B, last night. I hope she went off to manage to find Samaritans. So yeah, it was a good chat.
And it's so good of you to do them.
And if you
So
want,
I know that they're not easy for you to do.
No, they're
so.
quite exhausting in a good way. But because I want to be authentic, I want to be delving into stuff. I want to. It's like suddenly going, how do I actually feel? And I only actually do that when I'm not at those points in a weird way.
He was really sweet because just before he did that live, he said to me, I don't know what to say. And I said, well, you always know what to say. The thing is, just start off by asking everyone else how they feel. Because that's the great thing about these mental health chats that we do, is that it's a sharing back and forth, which is exactly like how AA or OA or sort of CODA and all these different groups that get together and talk. That's how it really works. Is it's just people sharing their shit.
Yeah.
Just makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Sarah Davis, where are you? Who is it?
Found
Sophie Walsh. Help, guys. I'm 4 days overdue, baby 4.
Wow.
Baby number 4. Right. Sophie, you're not 4 days overdue. The baby's still cooking. It's like in France. You are, you know when we go, we're a day over. It's such an inexact science. Every day that your baby's in there longer, their heart grows bigger. Yeah. Their lungs grow. So I know we get really, impatient for them, but it is actually really healthy. So enjoy, relax, sleep more.
Nanny Di's just said no, but I've got an equally annoying son.
Di, he's so annoying.
It's not very nice, Nanny Di. You're not coming back to the garden. I'm going to take that flower bed away from you.
Richard Kavanagh would like to say thank you, Mark, for last night's mental health chat.
Richard Kavanagh, can I say, I not only like your comments, but I also like your solid name.
Yeah, it's
Richard
a really
Kavanagh.
solid name.
It's a really good name. Thank you, Richard. Much appreciated. So what have we got in our headlines
Millie,
tonight?
yes, Millie's got a thumping headache. Anyone else
I
get
keep
weird
waking up with
lockdown
huge
headaches?
headaches.
Loads of people are.
Oh, I'm so pleased you said that, Millie
I
123H.
think we're just in so much more. The air is so important for headaches, and also because people are sitting a lot more. It's like I keep trying to get Mark to do the stretch thing that I do every morning.
Just did it then.
Because he's on the computer all the time, because everyone's got laptops on their laps or watching stuff on their iPad or on their phone. All around here is just so bad and up over the head. So get your fingertips, the pads of your finger, and go right from the back, right from your neck in little circles. Turn around, Mark. So like right from here, little circles like that. Can you see? With both fingers, all the way up. Oh, see, just that. You just touch it, and then go up over your head with all your fingers, like just the pads, and really, really massage and drink lots of water. And we were the same. We both had headaches yesterday, didn't we?
Oh, I've got one today as well.
And it's that kind of heavy headache before you get a storm.
Yeah.
Because I think the pressure, Sarah Tace said that to me yesterday, I think.
Well,
you know,
there
right,
were
Sarah Tace.
thunderstorms yesterday, weren't there? Sarah Barrow, keep waking up with headaches, then have it for the whole day. That's how I feel. It's terrible. And no matter how much water I drink, or you gave me a lovely massage yesterday, was it? And
Yeah.
you know that helped for a bit. But yeah,
But yours is pure, yours is totally down to muscle tension.
muscle tension.
Yeah, because I can feel it in your muscles. But you know, the other thing, guys, is if you say you're taking Nurofen or something for 3 days, be really careful. Look on the box, because it says if you use this for more than 3 days, it can give you headaches. So people try really hard not to take the painkillers.
Yeah.
Mark came down yesterday, and he was like, "I've got a headache. I want paracetamol." What, like before you've had a glass of water, before you go straight into your stomach, into your gut? It's really bad.
Yeah, no.
Another really good pressure point is here. So you put your fingers in there, right on your thumb, and you just massage. Oh, it's so sore, and then you massage it until it's gone, and it can relieve your headache.
Mark Eastwood.
Pressure points.
Mark Eastwood.
Yeah,
Ozark.
yeah.
Ozark is going very well. We didn't get to watch it yesterday, and I was very frustrated.
Because we had a nice chill out time with the girls.
Yeah, not instead of. I wasn't frustrated.
But
that
that's when
had
we
the
were
nice
gonna
chill.
watch
yeah,
it,
yeah,
wasn't it? It was
absolutely.
annoying.
And I have to say, I love nothing more than watching First Dates Hotel with the family. It's so.
It's really nice. We always have to have a series that we watch together, don't we?
Yeah.
And that's our one at the moment.
But what I love about that series is
I
it
love
wrong
it so
foots
much.
first assumptions. Do you remember the series
Yeah.
idea we pitched years ago, which was called First Impressions?
Yeah.
And it's how, you know, how much should you listen to your first impressions or your gut instinct? And how much do you need to reach beyond the cover? And I think as a series, it really achieves that so well.
Really does. I have to say, Channel 4 are brilliant at casting.
Where?
They're brilliant at giving shows where you really get to see the human condition. Like, I love Gogglebox. Let's not mention Gogglebox.
Yeah, let's not go there again. We've overdone that. Do you remember the series Faking It? That was a good series.
I
wasn't it?
loved that.
Yeah.
That was one of my first ever favourite reality shows was Faking
and
It.
that sort of came out the year before we set up our company, and it was kind of the benchmark really for and wife swap and things like that.
Yeah, Lynn Aoki, been sitting too much on the computer. It gives me such a banging headache. Can't shake my head. Feel like my brain is banging against my skull. Got out and about and it got much better.
Going out
yeah.
does help.
I'm gonna force him. He's gonna be screaming and shouting about not wanting to go, and then we're gonna get to the bar. We're gonna be 5 minutes in, and what are you gonna say?
Oh, this is the best thing.
Oh, this was such a good
Well,
idea.
yeah, it's only because after this live, I'm going to crack on. Fortunately, the dishes are edited, so those are the time-consuming bits, and then we've got to shoot the papers and all the other bits. So if you
For the No Name Sunday
for the
show.
No Name Sunday show, so for those of you who are members, family guests rather, you will know what that's all about. For those of you who aren't, for $1.99 a month, you could join. In the headline,
Hi, Paigey.
in the headline today, I've got a curious word called Jobocalypse Now. Quite a good title, isn't it, that? Jobocalypse. Right, so apparently there was an urgent meeting between Rishi Sunak and the Prime Minister on Friday. Is it Rishi Sunak? And Alok Sharma. Rishi Sunak and Alok Sharma. So it's the Business Secretary and the Chancellor. And they had an urgent meeting on Friday about the economy and pubs, restaurants and the hospitality sector. And there was a memo, apparently, how did they get this information? There was a memo placed in front of Boris Johnson saying that unless urgent action happens now, 3.5 million further jobs are... What are you doing?
I'm doing a story for Instagram because people get annoyed when I don't let them know we're live. Go on, carry on.
He went into an absolute meltdown and said, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
Who? Boris?
Boris, when told that the hospitality sector could lose up to 3.5 million jobs if nothing's done in the short term. So what we're going to see this week is an immediate speeding up of pubs, cafes, restaurants, and outside areas being liberated for us to use.
Great.
Funerals are going to increase attendances up to 10. Weddings as well. Hairdressers are opening on July 4th. Places of worship reopening on June 15th as well. So, and Grant Shapps is also working on new rules to allow even driving instructors to get back to work. The fears of what one insider called Jobocalypse Now have led the Prime Minister to task a small group of ministers to draw up measures to return Britain to something like normal life by July.
Once you have got driving instructors, you have got everything open, right?
Well, all hairdressers and nail salons.
Because you are so
Welcome,
close in
Janet
a
McMurray.
driving situation.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the pictures yesterday in Manchester and London, you know, which we support those marches. But it's like Denise texted me, Denise Welsh, and she said, let's just open everything up. Because you had thousands and thousands of people packed together.
Yeah.
It's not making any sense now. And I did feel sorry. They had a guy on from one of the big retailers on Sophie Ridge this morning. And he was saying, you know, many of us as shops have shops as big as car showrooms. He said it's so random what they're allowing to open and what they're not allowing to open. Now, I know so many of us are still scared of the virus and want to feel protected and might quite like lockdown to carry on, but it just simply can't. The country will collapse unless we get the economy going again. We're in such massive trouble.
I think that's...
You can have car showrooms open, you can have other big shops
I think
open.
that's the stark contrast, you know, the stark choices that the government are facing is that the potential long-term damage is unfortunately, over a longer period of time, going to be far more damaging than the short-term damage of an increase in coronavirus cases. So I guess the government are having to make that balance between if the NHS is in a position where it can more readily cope, even with a small bump of a second wave, or even with a significant second wave, then I think the government has to make that choice. Otherwise,
Exactly, Victoria Helm. Exactly.
What did she say?
Well, she said, what about zoos? She goes, I'm not a great fan of zoos, but they are zoos, but they do have a very important role these days in conservation and research, and they are all going to close.
As are all the theatres.
Now, they're out. No, but I'm talking about outside. I'm talking about where we're at the moment with the relaxing of lockdown. And at the moment, outdoor car showrooms can open, right? So why can't a zoo open? It's outside. In fact, if you think about a car showroom, you're going to open the car, you're going to sit in the car. But actually, if you're just walking around a zoo, okay, close maybe the snake houses, reptile houses, all those where you're going inside. But it just seems so random. And I think when people can't understand why they're being asked to do something, it's very hard to get people to do it.
Well, for example, I don't understand why they can't, for instance, with all outdoor theatres, say the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre and the Globe, why they can't reopen maybe at a sort of 2/3 capacity with everyone wearing masks. Do you know what I mean? They're outdoors. They're outdoors, and you know, I think there's going to have to be some some sort of trade-offs made here.
Paul Honeyman, we didn't see Matt Hancock on MAR this morning. What did it say?
Care
homes asked for tests to be only delivered and not actually tested.
What? Oh, is he still in his same suit bullshitting about the same shit? I saw a shot of him yesterday having blood taken, and he looked so out of place. He looked like he'd been forced into this hospital environment, and he just looked so uncomfortable.
Joe Hill's got a nice bit of advice. Suffered with migraines for decades. I got a book called Heal Your Headache, the 1, 2, 3 method. It changed my life. Now, I don't get migraines, but I do have friends that have it, and it does ruin your life, doesn't it? So there you go, guys. If anyone suffers from migraines,
take that morning, out. Take that. You are still getting close to each other in theatres. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
I don't think we're quite ready for theatres yet, because theatres have to be packed to earn money, so that's the trouble.
But that's why I'm talking about outdoor theatres. Is there no way that, you know, and I'm also wondering whether for a number of the theatres, and there are some serious theatres that are going to go under, the RSC in Stratford, the National Theatre, the Globe Theatre, they're all teetering on the edge. The National Theatre, I mean, come on. I was wondering if there was some way that the government could lease or have an option on outdoor spaces, so some place could be just immediately transported to you know, like you can have an outdoor cinema, project it onto a wall. I wonder if there's sort of outdoor locations that you could take theatre to. I mean, I know it can't be done quickly, but it might be a sort of short-term solution for 6 weeks. But this whole thing about how close can we get in order for the economy to come back and for us to prevent, really, this jobocalypse. It's a really hard word to say.
Jobocalypse. Everybody
now.
shout it now.
Jobocalypse. But I mean, you know, 3.5 million is a stark figure. I mean, here's the thing. One of the weird things, forget Trump, one of the weird things about the data that came out, one of the things that came out of the data in America on Friday, read the economy, suggested that because, you know, lots of states have been coming out of lockdown sooner and all that kind of stuff, it looks like they already feel in America they've hit the very bottom of the economic hit, i.e. they're on their way out financially. And the jobs, you know, the jobless numbers seem to concur with that. So it shows that if we can, I think probably Boris and the government are under a little bit of pressure of thinking we want to emulate what's going on in America, that we ride this way out and that we tolerate whatever kind of, you know, residual damage happens. There's another annoying fly in it.
Oh, the flies at the minute. Oh, sorry, I missed was asking us to say happy birthday to their daughter. It was just about here, I think.
Annie Oz, shout out to Adelaide. Cinema's opening soon.
Yay!
I'm so missing the cinema, I can't tell you.
They're opening a new outdoor cinema in Leeds.
Mark, I've booked for Harry Potter Studio Tour in October. I think I'm going to cancel. Penny Legate. Oh, Jobocalypse. Yeah, we cannot stay locked up forever. Haven't seen my mum for 6 months. Helen H. Daughter, please can you... Oh, you've lost it again.
There it is.
Where?
No.
No, let me do it. That's completely gone. Oh, sorry, we're just trying to find... Do you want to...
Say it again.
Talk about...
Say it again, whoever's birthday.
We were watching the sad... Whilst I'm finding it, it kind of leads us towards the protests and social distancing. The footage I was seeing from yesterday... Send it again, yeah. The whole Black Lives Matter protest in London, the terrible, terrible issue with that poor policeman. I mean, words cannot even express.
I think it was very wet, wasn't it? It was very, and that's the thing, the nature of horses, they're just so unpredictable. We know many people that went to the march yesterday, and they're actually quite upset with the reporting, because they said, like always, there were people that were nasty little fuckers, opportunists, violent people, everything. But the majority apparently was extremely moving. There was some many of them said it's something they will remember for the rest of their lives. It was a very powerful, very moving. You saw a lot of the best of humanity there, you know. There are more good people than bad people. We do have to keep saying that. And it's just a shame that people are focusing too much on the small group of people that were violent. But I suppose that makes better news. As they say in show business and in the news, if it bleeds, it leads. And that's what they say.
Penny Legate asked, Nanny Di, of course, sending you a big shout out. You are adorable. You're small and adorable. Penny Legate asked, would we have let our girls go to the march? And that's a good question. Yeah. We absolutely would have done. And yet it was the social distancing issue that was a cause for concern for us. Yes, you could have worn a mask. For me, the whole thing is just incredibly unfortunate, the timing. I think it's very easy for people who don't have first-hand experience of prejudice to say, oh, everyone should be really responsible and not go out at what seems like and feels like, in a fight against racism, a seismic moment. I think Maddie read us a statistic yesterday.
Sad I wasn't part of it.
I think Maddie read us a statistic yesterday that said that the cumulative number of marches happening means that there's been more protests than since the civil rights movement of the 60s.
Yeah, there has.
Which
is quite something, isn't it? To be a part of something like that is just...
Yeah. So this is a global effort like climate change, but against racism. And you could argue that for a number of, I've seen it used as a great comparison on lots of social media, that racism has been a more pervasive and pernicious and damaging virus, if you like, for many, many more years than just coronavirus. Yeah. So it's about point of view and perspective. It's very easy for us as white people to sit here and go, well, it's not very good for social distancing, is it? But I think that we're precluded from understanding the intensity of feeling. Yeah. So I think that's where we have to
if my parents weren't so elderly, because I'm not that frightened of getting the virus myself. 80% of people, it's a very mild thing. But I'm just being so cautious because of my parents, really. And I think it's the same for anyone with elderly or people with underlying conditions that they see. I think we just do have to be extra careful. I just want to just quickly read out Isabel Kelly. Nadia, how do you have such a good relationship with your daughters? I can't connect with my mum. I'm 17. Well, first of all, my relationship with my daughters is very up and down, don't forget. So nobody has a perfect relationship. But you know what? I obviously don't know anything about your situation at all. I don't know what sort of person your mum is. I don't know what sort of person you are. But something I would say is that often, yeah, it's a scary time as a mum with daughters when your children start to transition into being adults. And it's a really difficult moment where you're still wanting to parent them and help them be the best person that they can, but they're also needing to find their own way. And so it can get a bit tense, there's no doubt about it. If I was your mum and I read that just now, I would be weeping and I would be like, oh my God, let's just talk, So again, I don't know what sort of mum you've got, but is there any way, if you feel too embarrassed to say this to her face, could you text her? Could you write her a note? Could you say, Mum, I don't know why, and don't put any blame, don't say you're awful and you make me feel this way, just say, I don't know why it is, but I just feel like we don't connect in the way that we could, or I wish we could connect more. What can I do to make that better? What could we do to make that better? Can we maybe have a chat about it on here, on text, or face to face, and just take a tentative reach out and just see, because you never know. She could easily be thinking exactly the same thing. She could be saying to her friends, oh, I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel like I connect with Isabel anymore. And I just wish I could, but it's got so tense between us and I don't know. And she can be a right madam and I can be a right madam. And it might just be a case of you reaching out the time. And what a mature thing to do. You know, that's a real... And also, even if it doesn't go well, be brave and try again in another way a few days later, because also it teaches you a lesson for life as well, that sometimes when things feel odd between a person, and I think it's very much a part of our culture as well, the Brits, we're all a bit stiff upper lip, aren't we? And to a life lesson for you to learn that you can actually say to people, I don't feel like I'm quite getting what I want or what I need from you, can we have a talk about it?
Very good advice, very good advice. Andrea Longton, daughter Hannah, happy birthday, please.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Hannah, happy birthday to you.
A couple of points before we move on to the final topic. Nanny Di just said there's a brilliant looking new Windrush drama starting tomorrow night on BBC One.
Oh.
So
Well,
that would be, and
Thanks
again,
for that, Nanny Di.
thanks Nanny Di, and apt and appropriate given the current climate. And someone else was just asking if there's any movie suggestions around the Black Lives Matter subject, and I would
That's
suggest
the perfect guy.
I would suggest that there are some classic films. Selma, obviously, which is about Martin Luther King's great walk, protest.
It's great.
It's just a great movie. If you want, I mean, a film, sometimes it's about seeing the difficulties of racism. And it was a film that's probably quite dated now, but the film that really shocked me into reality about the injustice and the unfairness was the brilliantly sharp Mississippi Burning, starring
Detroit.
Gene Hackman. And then, two other movies I was going to suggest is Detroit, which was a recent film, which is really good. It has John Boyega in it, it has Will Poulter in it. And it was a little, it's not been covered, but when you start to realise the number of stories that have occurred in the sort of African-American history of oppression in America, and you think, my God, why had I never heard of this? So Detroit is another really good one. And another cracking movie that gives you a really different insight and quite a hip and cool approach to it, and yet at the same time, is Black Klansman, which is the true story of a black cop who infiltrates by phone the Ku Klux Klan.
Why don't you put these all on your Popcorn Junkies?
Yeah, I will do.
You could,
We
because
could do,
there's lots of people looking for...
And
Maybe we could do a little live between our Instagram accounts where you could talk through this.
Yeah, we could talk through some of the movies available.
Because everybody keeps asking me, does Mark know of any film? We should do that.
Black Klansman is a cracking film, and in fact, I posted on the Popcorn Junkies Instagram account yesterday, Spike Lee released a new poster for his next film called *The Five Bloods*, which I think you saw the trailer for, which is about some black Vietnamese soldier, Vietnam vets going back to Vietnam.
Oh, I really want to see
and
that.
it looks cracking. And it
Is
just
that out now?
No, but it's coming out on June the 12th on Netflix. He's streaming it. He wants it out now. So Spike Lee posted the poster, so we'll review that.
Oh, well, we'll do that and do a big review.
Yeah, we'll do a big review. But the great thing about that, again, it's a reminder of, we all know the Vietnam War. We can all think of Vietnam War. We can all think of Cry Freedom. We can all think of Vietnam War films. But never really, we always know in Vietnam War films, there's always the one member of any unit who's the African-American guy, but you never get the sense of the African-American experience of it. And I'm hoping that this film will give us that. So that comes out on June the 12th too. Another interesting film, going back to Cry Freedom just quickly, is bizarrely a sci-fi film called District 9. And it's kind of a sci-fi comedy, but it uses aliens as a metaphor for how the blacks in South Africa were treated. And it's quite a neat way to get younger kids in to the horror and excitement of a sci-fi film, and you're like, why are they treating them like that? And it's the same way they treat. So there's lots of.
Joanne Burdock says American Son is a great film as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Susan Norton, hi, can you please wish my husband Danny a very happy birthday? It's a big one. It's a big one, Danny. It's a big one.
Danny, what a big one.
What a big one, Danny.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Danny.
If Beale Street Could Talk, another great film. Moonlight.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a live on our 2 Instagram accounts, because I really want more people to follow Mark's Popcorn Junkies Instagram account, because he puts so much work into it and it's doing really well. So let's do that, and then we'll get more people knowing about it, because people are always asking for recommendations of films, and his account is the best place for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a last thing on trolls. People warned us that the more subscribers we'd get, that the trolls would stop coming. And we always talk about what a wonderful community we have here, and we certainly do. And thank you, so many people, Mark, you haven't seen that, going up and saying thank you so much for your live last night, which is so lovely, because it takes a lot to do those mental health lives. And the same for me when I do the overeating. They do take a lot from us, because we are sharing stuff that is very personal, stuff we've worked out, and it's difficult. I just want to give a little note out to trolls, which is this. I really do feel your pain. I feel so sad for you. I can't even imagine what a terrible place you must be in. I mean, can you imagine I can't imagine how dark your lives must be, what you must be dealing with, what stuff you might have gone through, what pain you might be enduring. And we both feel so sad and sorry for you. And I think the best place is not on social media. I think the best thing for you to do is to reach out and get proper help, because the trolling will just exacerbate your issues, your mental health issues, and what's going on for you. It will cause you more upset and more pain. It will cause you to dislike yourself more. And my God, when you have to live with your own dislike, it's extremely painful. So, and I took this bit of advice actually from Scarlett Moffat, who's gone through an awful lot with trolls. And she said what she now does is she just always gives them the Samaritan's number. And I think that's a really good thing. So I think we will constantly put the Samaritan's number up here. And if there are any trolls listening now, we hear your pain. Well, we know you're struggling, but this will not help you.
And consider it a sort of act of charity
Kindness.
that we've prevented you from being able to leave comments. Because for me, the one part of trolling that I find the most sort of difficult to stomach, in a sense, isn't what you say to us. It's how it disrupts things for all of our kind, lovely people who are here for a sense of safety, a sense of comfort, a laugh, a bit of silliness.
All trolls aren't kind, though. I think that they're people that have no kindness.
No, but it's like an addiction, and it's like an addiction. I do compare it,
and the more that you do it, the more you want to do it.
Absolutely. And I think you go down a bit of a wormhole as a troll, which is why when trolling happens, often people set up the same account and they circle around and they call people in and they circle and they circle. But we deal with it very simply, don't we? We just simply
because we're inviting people into our home. And if somebody came into our home and was really struggling, we would try and point them in the right direction as to where they could get help. So we will never answer back nastily. We don't want any argument with anyone. We just want this to be a safe place for people to be. And who knows, you know, imagine that a troll actually takes our advice, gets some help with whatever's going on that's difficult for them, and then comes back and joins this community, because this community is amazing.
It is amazing.
And we know you guys, we know so many of you, we know a lot of what you go through. You share with us with such honesty, and you never know, you could come back to here and you could actually get something really positive and powerful from your experience on social media. But it's not good for your health to be.
And so, you know, the only act of generosity we can show is really to offer you the Samaritan's
Point you in the
Helpline
right direction,
and hide you from the channel. And that will be the first act.
Because it is addictive. Mark said, we were talking about it this morning, he said, Mark said, I feel really sorry for them. He said, because it is like an addictive thing.
It is an addictive thing.
It's a bit
like
like
picking up
crack.
a drink.
So if you do it and then you do it again, then you do it again, then you do it again. So no.
Guys, I'm now going to rush off and make the Sunday show. Okay?
Yeah, look, Vanessa says, great approach to trolls, zero tolerance but no retaliation.
Yeah.
Keeps here safe and supportive.
Precisely.
Which is exactly what we want to do.
And I've got another little movie review that me and Nan did earlier in the week that's going to be landing. A lot of you really liked the System Crasher review. Thank you. Go and check it out.
I'm going to watch that.
And
it
please,
so
you know,
good.
these one of our mission statements with the Popcorn Junkies is this. We're interested in all the blockbusters. No one's more interested in those than me, the superhero, all that stuff. We love all that. But we really home in on those films that, you know, that are never going to break even, which are cracking films that deserve just a little bit more of a push. So, you know, films like the one that we're going to pop up later today, go and check them out. You know, some of this video on demand is like, we watched something, the girls watched something yesterday, and the price of it was the equivalent of 3 tickets at the cinema. Now, I'm not suggesting...
We're going to do all of this on our live.
All right,
We're
well,
going to do
there
all
you
of
go.
this.
All right.
Jo Hill, just want to give her recommendation to teach about racism. Watch Jane Elliott,
Oh,
the
I've
Blue
heard
Eyes,
about
Brown
this.
Eyes
Yes.
experiment.
Yeah.
Should we mark that
Jot
down?
that
Should we
down.
do that as...
No, we will. Sorry, I think I've seen that mentioned before.
We'll do
and I
that
keep
as a
missing it.
home ed thing. And I've got lots of people asking me for stuff like that, so thank you for that.
All right, guys.
Listen, guys, so the No Name Sunday show will be up later.
Yeah.
We don't know where because we haven't finished filming it yet.
Yeah, we're gonna
but it
crack
will
on.
be up later. And what time are you doing the live tonight?
Well, let's make a good 10:30.
We will
10:30.
definitely be there.
And if we're
Definitely.
watching First Dates,
we
make
will
sure it's
stop
earlier.
it and we will be there. All right, everybody, have a
Take
lovely
care,
day.
guys.
Bye,
Lots of
guys.
love. Bye. Bye. Hi, Chris Perez.